Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Big announcement today, very big announcement, huge announcement. In fact, what I think we all hope to be the biggest announcement of recent years, especially if you're a jaded Guild Wars 2 player that, you know, you fell off the Guild Wars 2 bandwagon at some point. Well, Arenanet have got something for you today. Today they just announced Guild Wars Reforged. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what they've announced and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of my take. Now, I have asked if I have permission to do this. I can tell you guys, I listened to the devs a little while ago talk about this, and I actually asked a question or two to them as well. So I know a little bit about Reforged, and well, it's an interesting project. So what I'm going to do here, guys, we got a blog post to go through, and what we've also got is, so by the way, I'm at the Zaisha Menagerie here. We've also got a trailer, so I'm just going to throw the trailer up right here, right now. Let's watch it. This is the Reforged trailer. It's really quite short. The last day dawns on the Kingdom of Ascon. So there you go. So Guild Wars Reforged, quick little trailer. A trailer you'll notice is like 90% what we've actually seen before. It's the original Prophecies trailer. I think they might have got the original master and upscaled it. If you guys remember, years ago I used like Waifu 2X and a tool to up-res that trailer and actually got really, really good results from it. So it looks like they've done sort of a more native version of it. It's coming out very soon. Big and prominent there on the main screen is Steam Deck Verified. Which may be familiar to you guys a little bit if you've been following the patch notes of Guild Wars 1 over the past few years, and I know many of you haven't. But yeah, so it's a very exciting project. It's a really exciting idea. You know, I'm a huge Guild Wars fan. For those out of the loop, Guild Wars 1 development basically, you know, went onto a slow drip. Content drops completely disappeared years ago. As of about 2 years ago, they did put, you know, a dev on it who's been doing various updates. They've done engine updates over the years, some of them to reasonable fanfare. Remember, they did a long distance update and some rendering and graphics improvements a few years ago, which I covered and everyone was really excited about. Basically, there are a lot of people out there, myself included, who are really thirsty and really excited for more Guild Wars 1 content. I want that, not just as a Guild Wars 1 fan. Actually, this year I was playing a lot of Guild Wars 1 and I got like all of the titles in the game complete on my main. You know, I want more to do as a fan, but I also think it would just be a really, really powerful and important thing to telegraph to people, hey, we at Arenanet can support more than one product. So when they eventually do like a Guild Wars 3 announcement or, you know, another live service game, another MMO by whatever name, people will trust that Guild Wars 2 will continue. We don't have to abandon the old projects. We can have the old ones going. Having in-tandem development for all these products is really exciting to me. We live in the modern world where WoW Classic is a thing, old school RuneScape is a thing. Why can't Guild Wars 1 continue? It's a very different genre to the sequel. A lot of people really want it. So finally today, we get a big announcement! Oh, it's exciting. So here, I just want to show you guys some of your comments and, you know, really just get into the mindset of the community here today. This is from channel WW10D. Heck yes, 20 years of winning. The real Chim Shady. We are so back in all caps. I more or less fell off my chair when I saw this news. I'm cautiously quite optimistic. It's happening! I remember 2012, watching your commentary for the first time, and here we are. Wow. Most hype stream of WP ever. Guild Wars 1 Classic Plus? What? This is on the official trailer here, all caps. Is this what they were cooking? A remaster Guild Wars 1 Omg? I die of joy, says Felix. So people are thrilled. I'm here to tell you guys, this is not a remaster, okay? I feel really awkward and weird about this video. Because I think we're all running away with it a little bit. And I want it to be a remaster. I want it to be really big and exciting. Personally, guys, and I don't want to take a hype moment for Guild Wars and be a Debbie Downer, okay? But this is not, I think, actually that exciting. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the blog post, and we'll talk about what they've actually revealed. Now, as we read through this information, what I want you guys to do is to look for the word remaster, just first of all, okay? So here we go. This year, we've been grateful to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the launch of Guild Wars Prophecies, and the start of the Guild Wars franchise. Spurred on by the wonderful community response to our April anniversary celebration, we're excited to announce Guild Wars Reforged, which will be available on December 3rd. Reforging a legend. We believe that even with all the advancements and innovations of the last 2 decades, Guild Wars has a lot to offer. Now, that's really heartening to me. I love to hear that. An enchanted world full of limitless adventure, a deep and flexible skill-based combat system, which is distinct to the Guild Wars 2 action-oriented system. An enchanted world, PvE and PvP challenges of all types and more. Reforged begins with a series of updates to Guild Wars that will be completely free to existing players and to make it easier than ever for new players to experience it all firsthand. To make this project possible, we've partnered up with 2 Weeks. Now, I don't know about you guys. I've never heard of 2 Weeks before. I don't know what they do. I know that in modern gaming there is a lot of contracting of third parties. But 2 Weeks is a small team that got formed last year, and they are Arenanet staff, former Guild Wars 1 employees. They have over 14 years of combined experience working on the original, which is an interesting line in the blog post if you think about it, because in truth, they probably only worked a couple of years on Guild Wars 1, but together, it all builds up, even though Guild Wars 1 was like 14 years ago. They bring invaluable insight and passion to this project. We can't wait for you to play and experience it. The first updates, they say, you can look forward to include a new low bundled price. It's Prophecies, Factions, and Nightfall together for $20. If you have purchased even one of the 3 campaigns, all of them will be unlocked through Guild Wars Reforged. And of course, there are still no subscription fees. So if you've already bought one of these things, you're getting the other campaigns for free. I would question how many people there are out there who do still, in this day and age, only own Nightfall, or only own Factions, or only own Prophecies. But if you're in that position, you do get some extra value here. Hardware compatibility. It is Steam Deck verified and has support for modern controllers. The UI has been redesigned with larger text options, and the game has support for high DPI displays. Visual and audio updates, dynamic sky bloom effects, new ambient occlusion and lighting updates take better advantage of modern GPUs. Other visual touch-ups refine textures and make for a cleaner visual experience, while new positional audio support makes the world more immersive. And then finally, user-friendliness. In addition to the updated UI that allows easier navigation, Guild Wars Reforged brings a new quest tracking system and an on-screen control guide. So on December 3rd, when the game update goes live, you'll see the updated logo previewed at the top of this post on our website and our Steam storefront. Guild Wars has grown as a game and as a franchise since its beginning in 2005, and we thought this was a fitting opportunity to introduce a more modern look for our beloved classic. These updates will take effect for all players. The new Reforged edition does not contain exclusive content or updates, but it simplifies the choice of what to purchase for new players. And Guild Wars Reforged isn't about a one-time update. We plan to keep collaborating with our partners to make further improvements to the game. Now, note the phrasing there, further improvements to the game. If you've never filled up your Hall of Monuments, there's no better time to get started. We're thrilled to share the world of Tyria with you all for the last 20 years, and we're excited to be renewing our commitment to the game. Now, that's a good term there. They are renewing their commitment to the game, starting December 3rd and continuing on into the future. To see Guild Wars Reforged in action and to hear from both 2 Weeks and Arenanet, join us on a stream that they're doing tomorrow. And that's it. That is the end of the blog post. Okay. So what is this? Well, so like I say, I've actually seen gameplay of Reforged and listened to what 2 Weeks had to say about it. And it is true, it's a lot of old hats that are very excited about the project. And they talked about a bit about what it entails. Now, all those graphics updates that we heard about there all sound very fancy and exciting, dynamic bloom and so on. They're not really. What it really is, so the bloom is like... Bloom is currently bugged in Guild Wars 1, where it doesn't really react to the resolution very well, so it looks very washed out and blown out at very high resolutions. So when you're playing on a higher resolution, the bloom will be more accurate to what the bloom should look like in 2005. That's about it. I think they mentioned something about ambient occlusion as well, which is nice. And you've seen in Guild Wars 2, there's the little checkbox that you can click, and it will put a little bit more shading around you know, certain elements, and it will sort of help with the lighting a bit. So that's nice, but it's not a major game changer. So anti-aliasing, they're like introducing FXAA support, which is also okay. But I mean, if it's FXAA, which is, you know, quite an old rendering technique and is not necessarily going to help you that much. You know, you can accomplish FXAA or a very good approximation of decent FXAA with like overlay software like Reshade, like the NVIDIA overlay and stuff like that. So like they're kind of small potatoes things. The audio update. So you guys may be familiar with this. I've done videos about this in the past. I've talked about this. Back when Guild Wars released, it released on Windows Vista. Did it release on an earlier operating system than Windows Vista? But basically, there was this thing, Direct Sound, I think it was called, which gave you nice positional audio. You know, if you were standing near a river, it would sound very loud. As you walk away, it would sound quieter. It put like reverb when you were in caves and stuff. That broke when Vista went away. Or when XP went away, when one of them. So you haven't really been able to hear that for a long time. But the community made mods for it years ago now, for at least half a decade. You know, I've done entire Let's Plays of Guild Wars 1 in the modern era with the EAX support enabled. In fact, if we already go into our sound options, you can see it's there. It's grayed out because I don't have the mod on right now. But so basically they've made that native. So the audio is a little bit better. But a remaster, this is not. To watch Guild Wars Reforged in action, it looks like Guild Wars 1, really. The major change... So I'm sorry to do this. I'm sorry to be the bringer of bad news. This is not a remaster. And in fact, what I find very, very interesting about this update is they were very, very clear with us that this was not a remaster. They were very explicit about it. They had it at the edit. And yet today, with the big reveal, with the blog post, with the trailer, they're not doing that. You know, it doesn't say in the trailer not a full remaster. It just says, you know, it's basically... So the big thing here is Steam Deck, okay? Now, I realize it is not a coincidence that just a few days ago, Valve had their big hardware announcement. Sorry that the gameplay here is so terrible, guys, right? This is basically just a podcast here. Valve did their big new hardware lineup. They've talked about their new Steam controllers and, you know, and Steam Deck support and being Steam Deck verified and all of that is big. It's important. Guild Wars 1 is currently on Steam, but it does not technically on the store page have the Steam Deck verified tag. It doesn't have the tag on it. So that's what this is, really. It's them saying, okay, if you have a Steam Deck, and there will be people out there who are excited who have Steam Decks. They're really pushing that and making sure that Guild Wars is fun to play and works well on controllers. But the weird thing is, guys, I mean, I look at all your lovely excitement and all of your hype. We've already been talking for 7 months about this. So let's have a quick look here. Again, if you've been following my channel, you will have seen me mention this. Here, I've got some screenshots from earlier this year. If you're watching the Guild Wars 1 patch notes, back in April 10th, 2025, Guild Wars 1 Steam Deck control layouts came into beta, as they called it, by SCW, who is the guy that's been focusing on this. Hello, friends. We've been working... I mean, I already read all this out. We've been working on an official Guild Wars 2 Steam Deck control layout. Today, we're pleased to present the beta version in order to get some community feedback. They had 2 layouts, the ABXY layout or the Souls-like layout. I don't actually know which one they've nailed down for Reforged. The Guild Wars 1 controls were using a Steam Deck layout, but I think you can use it with basically any controls that you like, and they are good. And we talked about this when it happened. The patch notes were fairly extensive. Here were the controls. This is all stuff we already knew. And basically what's happening is this stuff from months ago is leaving beta. What's very interesting to me is we've had a lot of really decent patches for Guild Wars 1 over the past few years where they've said, oh, we've improved full screen support, or oh, we've improved the render distance, but we've improved this, that, and the other thing. But this time, Arenanet have basically given it a trailer that isn't really a new trailer, and they've given it a name, Reforged. And that's it. So I'm very iffy about this announcement, guys, because this is kind of it's a little bit more, but it's sort of par for the course for Guild Wars 1 updates. This is not a content update. This is just kind of like wrapping a few things together, giving it a fancy name so that they can re-monetize it on Steam. That's really what it is. And look, I love Guild Wars 1, and I want lots of exciting announcements, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I just want everybody to temper their expectations. My big fear here is, you know, they've gone with the name Guild Wars 1 Reforged. Warcraft 3 Reforged, I didn't follow too closely, but was famously a huge flop over on the Blizzard side. People are thirsty. They are desperate for a remake. Arenanet have 100% given people the impression that there's a remake, or at the very least a remaster going on here. And as far as I'm concerned, this is not that. This is a chance to put it on Steam and hopefully, hopefully get a bit of buzz. And I just want to say as well, you know, when we look at the monetization here, I'm really excited about this prospect if it meant that there was a really good bundle, you know? But, so what are they actually doing here? Now, you guys are welcome to dispute me in the YouTube comments. It brings Prophecies, Factions, and Nightfall together for $20. Hold on. They've regularly sold the triple pack already for over the past decade for like really low prices when it comes to Steam sales. The thing that's always been annoying about Guild Wars 1 as getting a new player into it, and I know this because I've done this for other people in recent years, is that they don't have a mega bundle that's everything. All three of these plus Eye of the North. Don't make me buy Eye of the North separately. And I think the bonus mission pack as well is a big thing. So this was a chance for them to do the full pack, finally, for the first time. And they haven't done that. That is not an element of this. $20 for the triple pack? I mean, I don't... Obviously, I'm a very long-term Guild Wars 1 player. I haven't bought these things for ages. But I swear we could have got it for that price anyway. I mean, what was it before then? There was already a triple pack. So, look, it's nice that people who owned one but not the others are kind of getting a bit of an upgrade for free here now. But it doesn't even, to me, seem like the price is something to scream. I want to sit here and scream and be excited about Guild Wars 1. I desperately want to. I don't want to pull the trigger too fast. I don't want to lead people astray. I get the impulse from other content creators and you know, being in Arenanet's pocket and saying, okay, let's get everybody excited about every little thing. I want to be excited when I feel like it's really earned, and unfortunately for me, I would say that this hasn't been. Now, I'm doing a bit of a disservice. The other big thing here is the UI stuff that they're talking about. So there is a bit of a UI update. So there are higher resolution skill icons coming in. Now, that's very exciting. Again, it's something you can mod into Guild Wars 1, and you could have modded in for years and years and years, because, you know, Arenanet allowed people to play the sealed deck physical card format, and, you know, people got that art and they put it in as text mod. Some skills were not covered, though. Like, famously, I've talked about this many times, the Resurrection Signet, which is not available for me at the moment here. What? Now, the Resurrection Signet is now up-resed. We, for the first time, see the full art Resurrection Signet, and I specifically requested to see that. I have seen it, guys. It is beautiful. Oh, I'm excited about that. But, you know, your mileage may vary. I guess a lot of monster skills, maybe, as well, will have higher resolution art. They also do have some nice new things. So they mentioned this new questing thing. Basically, you know how in modern games you can pin your quest log and you'll see, like, you know, the objectives right there instead of having to pop the full panel. You kind of get a little something like that. So there is a bit of a UI refresh. When you walk over items, you can hold X and you can actually pick things up. So that was cool. So there's some little new UI quirks. But it's Guild Wars 1. Okay, this is not... So, like, one of the things I was wondering about as well is this, like, a full new restart? Are we getting new servers completely? Is everybody going to be starting in pre-searing? Pre-searing is going to be full on hype with loads of people, and we all progress together, and we all work our way back to the underworld, and we all work our way back to the domain of anguish. You know, are they separate shards? It's none of that. It's Guild Wars 1. Just a chance to play it on Steam Deck, which, in all reality, I think you would have had anyway, you know, as they were doing the betas and stuff. So, having seen all this and inhaled all of this, I was privately thinking to myself, this isn't that exciting. This isn't worthy of a relaunch. And so the number one thing on my mind was content. What are their plans for content? Content, please. That's what I want. I want to hear about Utopia. I want to hear about Guild Wars Beyond continuing. And so I asked, what are your views for content? And I got an extremely non-committal response to that. I don't have a direct quote for you guys, but I can tell you guys that it sort of seemed like real content, meaningful, bigger updates, long-term support might not be... It almost felt to me, and this is not a quote, all right, but it kind of felt to me contingent on the player base growing a lot. And we're kind of in a chicken and an egg type situation there. It's like they won't build the content unless the players are there, but the players won't be there without the content there, you know, and so on and so on and so on. So look, now the blog post does have a lot of nice little notes in there. The first, but like if you look at it closely, they're not committing to content. They say this is the first update. Updates can mean anything. It can mean refining the control scheme. It can mean refining their new UI elements. It can mean, you know, clearing up a bit more netcode. It can mean stuff like par for the course, standard things that we've been getting for Guild Wars 1. Like last month, Guild Wars 1, or 2-3 months ago, it had an update where the max frame rate came down because it was creating network issues, you know. So I don't know. Maybe that is Arenanet just trying to be sneaky. Maybe there are some Easter eggs. And I do kind of have reason, maybe, to believe that there might be content, maybe. But I don't know. So there you go. So that's Guild Wars Reforged. And I kind of hate this video, and I'm really sorry to do this video, because I feel like I'm just pissing on everyone's bonfire here. Those are my current takes on it. Everyone's asking me, oh, will you do a big new Let's Play? Will you do this? I don't think it's really... It's not different enough, maybe, to justify that. I will cover the release. I will cover news. I am holding out on the desperate hope that this is something big and new and a bright new future. I'm a big believer in supporting Guild Wars 1 over the years and getting more content in there. I think that would be fantastic. I think that would be fantastic for the health of Guild Wars 3 as well. But I personally am in a very wait-and-see sort of mindset with it right now. I am... endlessly grateful that money has been spent on Guild Wars 1. You know, and I want more. I would just say, hold your horses, guys, a little bit. Here's some of the screenshots from a press pack. And there were some maybe hints. I don't know. But as you see here, this is Guild Wars 1, guys. Like what it looks like these screenshots feel like Guild Wars 1 with a wide FOV, you know, maybe I wouldn't go so far as ultra wide, maybe. But yeah, you know, and to people with Steam Decks, please play the game. It's a great game. It's a brilliant genre. It's lots of fun. I believe in Guild Wars 1, but not on the grounds of there being a remaster or a remake or anything like that. Just on the grounds of it's a good game. And any moment where they've supported it and there will be an influx of players, it is a great time to get into it. Yes, there was the 20th anniversary earlier this year. It was actually smaller scope, I would say, than the 10th anniversary when we got the new skills. But, you know, there were some cool community projects and people were supporting it. So we'll see what they have to say on their next stream. And as the news comes out, keep an eye on my channel. I'll continue supporting it, guys. Drop your comments down below if you've got any questions for me. And yeah, I will keep you in the loop. It's amazing and I feel very privileged to be in a position where I can talk about Guild Wars 1. And there you go. So Guild Wars Reforged. Please don't be too excited and let down. Let's not have a Guild Wars version of Warcraft 3 Reforged. Though I guess that failed in some other ways. So there you go, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Just to say, this video I've originally released as live, and I'm doing a big Q&A. So if you want an extended version of this, go to my channel, click the live chat tab, and you'll see an extended version. For everyone else, thank you very much for watching. There's the news. Guild Wars Reforged. Let's see what we think. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. All right, here we go.